Society keeps repeating a naive and dangerous idea that everyone just needs to find their person, that somewhere there's a perfect match, the right woman for one man, the right man for another, and everything will simply fall into place. That belief destroys more lives than it saves. If the goal were just a weekend romance or a trip to the sea, then yes, you could pick whoever feels exciting in the moment. But relationships aren't about weekends. They're about building a family, and family demands something very specific from a woman. Not charm, not laughter, but character, discipline, endurance, the ability to live through routine without breaking. Most men never think about that. They chase the feeling. They meet a woman and say, she's the one. But what does that even mean? The one for what? For conversation? For fun? For passion? Because when children appear, humor and charisma no longer matter. What starts to matter is how she handles pressure, how she survives isolation, how she reacts when the world stops giving her attention. Can she work? Can she endure? Can she stay calm? If the answer is no, then what seemed like destiny quickly turns into disaster. If it seems you've met the perfect woman, ask a harder question. Perfect for what? For pleasure? For parties? For laughter at night and chaos in the morning? That might be true. But test her beyond the moment. Does she cook every day? If not, your children will grow up on junk. Does she clean without being asked? If not, they'll breathe in dust. Does she actually want motherhood, or will she hand the child to someone else the first chance she gets? Can she save money? Can she live through boredom without exploding? Because the moment serious questions appear, the fantasy of compatibility begins to collapse. It's not love being tested, it's structure. Most men never do this test. They get lost in the movie version of romance, where impulse is treated like destiny and chaos is confused with passion. And so an immature man falls for a woman who feeds on drama, telling himself they complete each other, but he's only completing his own destruction. The truth is brutal. In 5 years, her body won't matter, her humor won't matter, the spark won't matter. When sleepless nights begin, you'll see what truly does. What matters is whether she can go 3 nights without sleep and still protect what's hers, whether she breaks under pressure or stands when no one is watching. Because the woman who laughs the loudest now might be the first to collapse when life becomes real. It's strange how it works. The quiet, modest woman, the one no one notices, often becomes the one who finds peace 10 years later. A calm home, a healthy family, a loyal partner. While the one who once looked like the dream turns someone's life into a nightmare within 2 years of marriage. That's why every man must decide. Learn now or suffer later. Because if people keep choosing based on chemistry and excitement, then the impulsive will keep choosing the impulsive. 2 unstable hearts under one roof. A perfect recipe for endless conflict. An ambitious man chooses an equally ambitious woman, thinking they'll grow together. But what he really finds is competition, a constant war for control, a battle that never ends. If a man addicted to adrenaline chooses the same kind of woman, the first months will feel like fire, intense, wild, unforgettable. But no fire can last forever. Soon, only ashes remain. Family isn't built from passion. It's built from compatibility of values, not similarity of impulses. A real partner isn't chosen because she feels right. She's chosen because she's built right. For life, not for the moment. So when 2 people claim to be a perfect match because they laugh at the same jokes, watch the same shows, and like the same music, they're mistaking temporary synchronization for destiny. That connection will vanish the moment responsibility arrives. The birth of a child will end the illusion of harmony. Then truth begins. If every man judged by how he felt in the first year, most would marry the wrong woman and later pay the price. Because feelings are fireworks, bright, fast, and gone. The woman who seems a little boring at first is often the one who can handle reality. Because boredom means predictability, and predictability is the foundation of family. Love may begin with emotion, but family survives on structure. Think of it this way. Would you choose a business partner because he's fun or because he's competent? No one risks a company on good vibes, yet men risk their entire lives doing exactly that in marriage. The family you build is your life's biggest project. Choosing a partner for it should be the most rational decision you ever make. Imagine needing heart surgery. Would you pick the surgeon because he's funny or because he's skilled? You'd never gamble with your life, so why gamble with your future children? That's what most men do without realizing. They swipe through faces, looking for an impulse. They want to feel a spark instead of searching for substance. They mistake excitement for connection and reaction for choice. Men rarely choose. They react. They see what attracts them and follow it blindly, without ever asking if that woman could carry a family, a home, a future. Most men never truly choose a woman. They simply react. A glance, a gesture, a curve, and logic dies. Desire takes the wheel. He tells himself he's choosing love, but all he's doing is responding to stimulus like a machine. He's spent his whole life reacting. See, want, take, regret, and it becomes so automatic that he forgets there's another way to live. Thousands of men move through life like this, never once having chosen a partner consciously. Each time, they just responded to what felt good in the moment. One impulse builds a night. Another impulse builds a relationship. Until one day he realizes his entire romantic history was built on reflex, not reason. When emotion is the compass, every road leads to the same crash. At first, it's pleasure. Later, it's emptiness. And when the high fades, he blames the woman, never noticing that the real enemy was his own lack of control. Because reacting is easy, choosing is war. And only a man who learns to pause before desire can build a life that doesn't collapse after it. A man sees a woman, feels a spark, and thinks, this is choice. But it's not choice. It's instinct, wearing a suit. He doesn't analyze, doesn't question, doesn't filter. He just reacts. Want, take, desire, act, passion, call it love. That's his cycle. For most men, this pattern becomes their entire romantic history. They never evaluate who she is, what she brings, or whether she's capable of building a life that won't fall apart. They just chase the feeling and call that destiny. Years pass, but the reaction stays the same. Each new woman feels like a new beginning, but it's only another repetition of the same mistake. The tragedy is that many men don't even know this pattern exists. They think attraction equals compatibility, and comfort equals connection. So they keep responding to emotion like a fire that burns them over and over, but they never stop touching the flame. No wonder so many wake up one day and realize they've never actually chosen anyone. They've only responded, blindly, automatically, endlessly, to whatever triggered them next. And that's why their lives keep repeating the same heartbreak under different names. Thousands of men live trapped in the same loop, reacting, not choosing, repeating the same mistake under a new face. He meets someone, feels desire, and convinces himself it's love. He tells himself this time it's different, but it never is. Because he's not choosing, he's responding. He's never built a filter for truth. He's never paused to ask, can this woman carry life when it stops being fun? Can she hold the line when chaos begins? He only thinks, I like her now. That's how most relationships start, from an impulse, not from vision. So when pleasure fades, so does the illusion of compatibility. What felt right in the beginning turns into conflict, distance, and silence. And yet, he still doesn't learn. He repeats the cycle again, because it's easier to chase dopamine than to build discipline. That's why most men never know peace in love. They confuse excitement for destiny and addiction for affection. Every time they reach for a woman, they're reaching for the same lesson they refuse to learn. When two grounded people meet, honest, disciplined, and self-aware, their story unfolds differently. It doesn't burn fast. It builds slowly, like a fire meant to last through winter. With time, gratitude grows. Warmth deepens. Peace becomes the default. Every year together only strengthens the bond. That's what real connection looks like. Not chaos, not obsession, but stability that expands with age. Yet most men ruin their lives for a short rush. They trade decades of peace for a couple years of excitement. They call it love, but it's really just addiction in disguise. They don't even realize how little they expect from life. They've never tasted calm, so they chase thrill instead. And when it all collapses, they say, "Love just doesn't last." But love was never the problem. Their selection was. Because genuine connection isn't built on thrill. It's built on character and the courage to choose what's right, not what's easy. That phrase, "we have fun together," belongs to childhood, not to real life. Adults don't build futures on fun. They build on function. Saying, "we fit each other" sounds romantic, but it's a lie shaped by emotion. Compatibility isn't about sharing jokes or playlists. It's about whether two people can survive pressure without collapsing. Because every relationship, no matter how bright, will face the storm. And when it hits, laughter won't save you. A mature person doesn't ask, "Do we enjoy the same things?" They ask, "Can this person endure responsibility, fatigue, boredom, and chaos, and still stay kind?" Love is a feeling. Family is endurance. When the first fades, only the second decides your fate. So when someone says, "We fit each other perfectly," it's just another fairy tale. Because every emotion has an expiration date. 3 years, maybe less. That's biology. After that, you're left alone with the real person behind the thrill. And the person behind the thrill is rarely the one you imagined. When a man chooses a wife for love, he's not following fate. He's walking straight into the divorce statistics. Because love fades, but responsibility stays. And when the illusion dies, reality begins its slow work of dismantling everything that was built on feeling alone. The woman he picked because she felt right becomes the one who drains him dry. And the quiet, unremarkable one he once ignored, she becomes someone else's peace, the kind of woman who never leaves when life turns dark. Men chase brightness and end up burned. They swipe left on stability and right on chaos wearing lipstick. They mistake arousal for attraction and attraction for destiny. But destiny never asks for your hormones. It asks for your discipline. The one he thought was the one is already planning her escape the moment he weakens, while the one he overlooked would have stood by his side even in ruin. And when he finally understands that, it's too late. Because by then, the thrill has disappeared, and the lesson has arrived, with consequences that don't fade like feelings do. There's one thing men rarely think about. Children don't care if their mother is charming, funny, or beautiful. They care if there's food in the fridge, clean clothes in the drawer, and peace in the house. They watch whether their mother stays calm or turns every day into chaos. That's how they learn what love really means. No child ever thanked a parent for being exciting. They thank them for being stable. That's why the woman who can handle the ordinary is worth more than the one who shines only in the spotlight. You can't find a woman who's spontaneous and reliable at the same time. You can't have a free spirit who thrives in routine. And the one who burns with passion rarely lasts through pressure. These are opposing worlds. And if a man confuses them, he ends up trapped between fantasy and fatigue. Because the louder the romance in the beginning, the harder the silence becomes later. A woman's nature doesn't change after vows or after time. It only reveals itself. The one built for comfort will stay comfort. The one built for drama will always find more of it. And the man who can't see this truth early will pay for it later. With peace, with time, sometimes with his entire life. In the end, love doesn't save men. It blinds them. They see softness and mistake it for safety. They see beauty and think it means peace. But when the illusion fades, only truth remains. And truth has no mercy. Every man pays for the woman he chooses. Some pay with time, some with their peace, and some with their entire life. So choose not just with your eyes, not with your hunger, but with the cold understanding that once she carries your child, your name, your world, you can never unchoose her. Because in this game, there are no clean restarts, only lessons written in scars.